Hi everyone, I'm Andrew Paul from IMGS Data Builders, and welcome to another 5-minute FME tip. Today we're looking at one of the small but very helpful improvements in FME 2024.2, and that is the new and improved Quick Add tool. So if you've ever found yourself using the transformer gallery here on the left-hand side or selecting transformer from the top here, you'll know that there's quite a lot of them and it can be quite difficult to know which transformers to use in your workflows. What the Quick Add function does is actually allows you to narrow those transformers down and allows you to search in quite a smart way to add readers, writers, and the different transformers you might need in your workflow. So in order to start the Quick Add, we just hit spacebar anywhere here on the canvas and we bring up our Quick Add dialog box. Now we have a number of different things here that we can use to filter the kind of transformer that we want. And these are the category filters. So depending on the kind of workflow you have, you might be working with point clouds, coordinates, you might be doing reports. These will actually filter the transformers down for what you need for your workflows. Now I'm just going to turn these off so we don't confuse anything here at the moment. And just highlight some of the functions we have within this. So the first thing we need to do with any FME workspace is we need to read in some data. So we can do that by searching for our reader. And we can start to type in the reader, and we can see here this brings up all of the readers and all the different formats that we have in FME. And as we know with FME, we can load in quite a lot of different formats. In this case today, we're just going to demonstrate this with looking at some CSV data. So we're actually looking for the CSV reader. It's something I use quite common, so it's actually come up here at the top of my search, but it may not come up for you. It's maybe the first time you've ever worked with a data set like this. So what we can actually do is we can actually search by the data type, and we can do that. So by typing in CSV, we can see that we've now got our CSV reader here as the top result. Now, there are a number of other CSV readers that have come up. What we can actually do is we can actually filter these down a little bit further. So at the top here, we have a number of further filters. We've got transformer, which would be a list of all the different transformers associated with CSV. We've got source and destination. Now, when we're looking at source typically tends to be our readers or some of the transformers that will be associated with reading in data to our workflows. Destination then is all of our writers, and again, feature writers and some of those transformers that we'd use as part of that writing out of data process. Now, in this case, we're looking for a reader, so we're going to look for source. And we're going to look for our CSV reader here. And we'll just add this to the canvas. We're just going to select our file, which is this open data of ambulance response times for the Dublin area. And now we're just going to add this to the canvas. Okay, we now have our reader, and we're just going to load the data in to the workspace. Okay, we've now read in our data. And we can just inspect the data by clicking on the data preview. And we can see here that we have read in essentially ambulance calls, when the time of call arrived in, the criticality, and the fire station that the ambulance was dispatched from in the Dublin area. Okay. Now, some of these headings aren't very clear, so we might want to add in an attribute manager to rename some of these attribute headings. So we can do that again by using the Quick Add function. So I've just clicked anywhere in the canvas and I've started to type in the attribute manager. And the search is intelligent. It's already picked up anything associated with the word attribute. And attribute manager is a transformer that I use quite often, and it actually is at the top of my search here. So we can just double click on this to add it to the canvas. We'll connect this up, click on our attribute manager, and we can rename our attribute time of call. And we can just click run on this. Okay, that has now run, and we now have our output. The next thing we want to do is we want to add a tester transformer. But before we add that transformer, I just want to talk about something else that will actually help reduce the number of mouse clicks that we have in FME, and that is the option for auto connect after quick add. Okay. Now, to ensure that auto connect is turned on, we need to go up to Utilities, FME Options, Workbench, and enable Quick Connect. And what that will do is, when we now add our next transformer, is it will actually add that connection that we see here between our reader and our transformer to the previous transformer. So in order to do that, we just highlight our attribute manager, and we now search for our tester transformer. When we click our tester transformer, as you can see, that auto connect, quick connect has now added that connection already for us between the output and the input port. We'll now set up our tester. We're going to filter our data by station name down to just any of the calls from Finglas Fire Station. And we'll just click run on that. And that has now completed for us. And similar with adding in our transformers and our reader, we can also use Quick Add to add in our writer. So in this case, we can search by writer again. Similar to the reader, we will get all of our writers and all of our transformers that are associated with writing. Or we can select the output that we want. So we want to work with Excel as our output. And we can see we've got our Excel reader, our Excel writer. We've got some stylers and different transformers associated with Microsoft Excel files. Let's add our Excel writer to our workspace. Just to make sure that we're definitely picking the writer, we can just filter by destination. And we can now set up our writer, and we can add our writer to the workspace. So we'll call our output dataset output. And we can add that now to the canvas. That's your quick FME tip of the day, the improved Quick Add and Quick Connect in FME form. So you can try this out in your next workspace and see how much faster this can help you with your own development of FME workspaces. Thank you very much for watching.